On this episode, we're back in the shop with the 59 El Camino as the guys install the front clip and we dry fit all of the exterior trim. Then we meet with Steve Stanford and talk about the legendary customization from the 1950s as we give this El Camino its flair. Stick around. Well, we're back in the shop and this is one of the most exciting times for us, and I'm sure you as the viewer will finally get to see this El Camino come to life as a complete body. So the dry fitment of a car, especially during the restoration process, is so important. It really is the time where we get to kind of revamp our memory on every nut and bolt, where it goes, what it does. Every component gets bolted on, exterior trim, bumpers. We even go as far as installing the glass on the body to make sure fitment is perfect.
Fully concentrated mode.
Oh yeah.
This is what it takes.
Gotta find the tail now.
Is it difficult finding parts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily. It all depends, because it's like, whatever you can't find, you know, the other option is to look up and pull apart. So it's like, if you know what works with what.
As Nigel and Brandon finish the front clip installation, let's run upstairs and chat with Steve Stanford on some of the custom ideas that he came up with for this El Camino.
What are the custom things you did on this car besides like the trim?
Well, the trim, and then I shaved the emblems in the front, kept the grill stock. These cars have a lot of character as it is, so it wasn't necessary to go real radical. But yeah, side trim, nosed it, and Brian shaved the emblem off the back, and he wanted to French in the tail light. I mean the license plate rather, and then kept the tail lights stock. And so that there's just enough changes to personalize it, but it still kept the you know, the stock. Oh, and I almost forgot too. We were thinking about running Jaguar XJS door handles, because I had those on a custom Cadillac that I used to have, and I've always liked those door handles, and they fit the lines of the El Camino beautifully. So that'll work out.
It's really helpful to have a visual representation of what the Frenched license plate is going to look like. So let's run downstairs and watch Nigel hand fabricate this Frenched in masterpiece.
All right, so we're gonna add some customization to this tailgate. What we're gonna do is, it's called Frenching the license plate in. So it kind of already has a reset, it's already kind of recessed in. So it's not like we really have to cut a hole out and set it in. All we have to do is basically just get some tubing. We'll get this tubing, we'll put it on the outside, and we'll have it go all the way around. And then we'll have the lip of the trunk, the deck lid, go up to it. So I'll have a nice radius here, and then straight down here, and then it's gonna fade down to nothing, and it's all gonna look kind of boxed in. Gives it a little bit more of a custom, nice look. Literally, custom. So that's the perimeter right there. So what I'll do now is I'll draw this on a table and make myself a little jig. That way I can bend the metal to this shape right here.
So this tailgate was purchased from a different vehicle, and you can see how much body filler was on the metal surface. So Nigel takes his 90-degree angle grinder and removes all of that filler. Then we find on the inner panel quite a bit of damage, as these El Caminos were essentially trucks. They were really used as a utilitarian vehicle. So there's always damage on these tailgates. Nigel uses some 18 gauge steel here to make a quick patch, and we get the inside panel looking sharp and straight. So the 59 El Camino has these little kind of covers, really. That's all they are. They're an overlay body panel that sits just below the roof line and in the rear window. So the rear window's here, roof is up here. This is just like a gutter cover almost. And it's kind of almost what I call like an afterthought from the factory. We don't really see, I can't tell what the reasoning for this cover is at all, other than just the afterthought. So our plan is to actually weld this panel in, and what that'll do is it'll eliminate a couple seams on the body, because right here the B pillar sits, so we'll get rid of that seam, we'll weld it, it'll be flush mounted. And so that's what we're going to do now. We're just going to make sure that this won't affect anything. If we modify this and customize it and make it smoother, of course the whole goal here is streamlining. Everything that we're doing is streamlining, removing emblems and trim and changing things up, and this is one of the customizations we want to do. So I'm going to grab some hardware and we're going to mock this up, and if it's good to go, we'll have Nigel weld it in, and we'll smooth it out with the primer and paint it, and it'll be a custom touch that nobody really will ever notice except for us. Originally, I think they had just left that exposed, and these are the little custom touches that I want to make to the car that just kind of set it apart. Like I said, 90% of the people will never even notice that we've blended all this, but we will, and it's just kind of a neat little touch. So if the window still jives and fits in here well, then we'll weld it and smooth it and shave it. All right, so we're not really showing any interference from the glass or the seals, so I think we'll proceed and weld this little cover in, and we'll smooth it out.
Yeah, I'm going to cut it right there so I can have that one pushed in and more flush, so less body work.
Finish the roof caps here. Nigel welds them in and metal finishes them with the grinding wheel, roll-lock, and a DA sander. Just in time, because Brandon is ready to finish off these bare metal areas with a two-part epoxy. As we've discussed in previous videos, it is important to coat the bare metal with a barrier before we start body filler.
So, after seeing the rendering we got from Steve Stanford, we realized that he had shaved all the emblems off the car. So we had to backtrack a little bit by filling in the holes on the fenders and the hood, but it's not that much of a backtrack, it's just another step in the process. So Nigel went ahead and welded up all the holes, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to feather out the powder coat on here, do a little bit of back taping, and spray some epoxy so that way we can start on bodywork on the front fenders as well as the hood and get all that done in as fast as we can.
Hey, Nigel finished up the tailgate. We shaved the Chevrolet emblem up here. We did a really nice French license plate, totally 60s style. Took out all the body filler that was in. This thing had probably 3/8 of an inch of body filler. There was a ton of patchwork here on the backside. Nigel finished up all the patchwork. This thing had been used and abused, as most truck tailgates are. So we're gonna load it up right now and have it powder coated. Let's go. So these are all going powder coat. What we do on these grills here, the cowl grill, we sandblast them, bring them back to the shop bare metal. We're gonna coat it with epoxy. What's nice about epoxy of 72 hours to recoat or top coat it. So we'll epoxy coat it, we'll let it sit for 12 hours, and then we'll shoot our base coat and clear coat right over it. We've already gone through and metal finished it, even though it's all rusty. We know it's straight, so that's our plan. So sandblast only, everything else gets powder coated gloss black. So that really the only reason why we're even bringing you guys along to Primo is so you can see the crazy character that owns this building named Dan. If you go back to the powder coating video when we powder coated the entire El Camino, you can get a taste of Dan's personality. He's a great guy, total character, funny. He's like a Huntington Beach legend. Let's see if he's here. Hollywood's here to see you. Your video has 101,000 views.
Yeah, my video?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's our highest video that we've ever put out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
With you in it.
Okay.
So you're our golden boy now,
Oh, great,
Dan.
great,
You're
great.
our golden.
Wonderful. What are we doing here?
Okay, we're gonna do gloss black.
Okay.
Can we sandblast only?
All right.
Sandblast only.
Okay.
And these semi-gloss black.
All right. Yeah, no problem.
All good?
All good.
Easy breezy.
Bring it on in.
All right. You want it in the office?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Can I give you that?
I got that.
Okay. Same day service.
Same day we get around to it.
See, I filled so many of these out. I even have similar writing to Dan.
Yeah. Your spelling's a little off.
How do I do it?
C-O-W-E-L?
Is it?
Or
I don't
is it
think so.
C-O-W?
I think it's
I don't know. You should know.
I've always spelled it C-O-W-L.
C-O-W-L.
Cowell. You have the French version?
Yeah.
This is tailgate. T-A-I-L-E.
Okay, so
Right.
semi-gloss black, gloss black, and sandblast only. You're all set.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. See ya.
All right.
Final parts. Hopefully this is the last of the sandblast powder coat, but I do say that every time. We'll pick these parts up Monday, and next week we're back at it. We're gonna finish the bodywork for the front fenders, the tailgate, and the hood. So we have a lot of work to do. Starting to feel the pressure, but we're not going to talk about the end date here. We're not, this is what we do, except I do feel the pressure because time is ticking. But these guys are a big help to us. Primo, appreciate it. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. What's up everybody, Brian from Mackey's Hot Rod Shop with our YouTube channel, Mackey and Machine. We wanted to say thank you guys for subscribing. The numbers are growing way faster than we ever expected. So a quick overview, we're giving away a box of merchandise for every new 1,000 subscribers. We bundle everybody together, we pick one number, and we send out all this merchandise straight to your door. It's just a way to say thank you, so we really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, do so now because we're continuing our content in a hot rod shop, bicycles, motorcycles, planes, trains, boats, all of it here on Mackey and Machine. We've got a ton of new content for you guys. The best part of all, real quick, is a 1940 Ford giveaway as soon as we hit 50,000 subscribers. What do you have to do? Hit the subscribe button, that's it. We keep track of everything else. Thank you again. We'll see you on the next one.